Coach, I know you had talked about silliness at the end of games the other day. This was a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, we, for whatever reason, there's always a bit of whatever when we play them. It's just the nature of the, I wouldn't say rivalry or anything like that, but maybe it is. I haven't been in Phoenix long enough to experience it all, but this is that time of the year before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, before All-Star break, where you start to see not necessarily slippage, but, there's so many distractions. And I thought we did a decent job of just kind of staying with it after all of the stuff happened. We did enough to win the game, but all of our guys felt it. We played not necessarily down a level, but it wasn't our normal consistent force and game plan discipline, especially in pick and roll tonight. But I told the guys, like, if you can win a game like this, you're so thankful for it at the end of the year, because it could have easily gone the other way.
This is the first time one of your guys has been pushed in the back by Beverley. Is there anything that needs to be said in that moment when Peppers can come?
I just think it's just happening too many times. You know what I mean? Like I just think the league needs to take a look at those kinds of plays. They're just unnecessary. There was obviously some tension, but with us, it's happening too many times. And when you push a guy when he's not looking like that, it's just not called for. There's going to be physicality. There's going to be tension in games. That's just the nature of basketball. When you have big, strong guys hitting each other the whole game. If you're standing face to face with a guy and you have words or you may tussle a little bit, that's normal for the NBA. But to continue to do that, it's just out of control. It's happening to us too many times. And so, the league, they threw him out of the game, but it's getting kind of silly now, to the point where you just kind of get your guys out of the way and say, guys, let's just win the game. But it's just getting silly. That's the only word I can come up with.
How do you think Deandre handled that?
I couldn't even see. I mean, there was so much going on. I went down there and I just stood, because I've been in this league long enough to know that most times when that happens, nothing's going to happen, so I just kind of stood. So I saw Max go down there and get our guys. I just wanted to make sure there weren't any punches thrown. We stayed on. I always look to make sure nobody's coming onto the floor. And I don't want a guy to get a suspension. Most of their guys stayed back, and I just walked down there and just walked back. I came in the league in the 90s, man, Yeah. So I'm just glad we won the game. We did enough to win the game. If you look at the numbers, we held a team to 105 points. They didn't get a great number of threes tonight. We got 102 shots. We didn't execute well, shoot the ball. We shot it decently tonight, but it just wasn't our standard game that we're accustomed to playing. But we're grateful that we got it.
You guys were also able to overcome the free throw.
It's just another thing to talk about. I'm not going there because I got a lot of kids and Christmas is coming up, so I'm going to keep my money. But our guys noticed it early on in a physical game like that, where that many guys are hitting, and you think we'd have a few more, but I don't know what to say. It's just it's tough because we attack the basket. We had more shots. We have a ton of shots in the paint. That's how we play. So it's just something we have to overcome. That's what we keep telling our guys. In order to go where we want to go, you got to overcome something, and it can't be a distraction for us. But you do notice it. But I think we're doing a good job of not letting it distract us.
Monty, to your point on what you saw in the 90s, the hottest guy in that situation is going to be whoever gets shoved. And you said you weren't able to see, but everyone did a good job of immediately, just making sure. Can you speak to the composure you continue to see from your
Well, I think everybody to a man, when we got back to the huddle, they were like, guys, let's just win the game. That's what we do. You're not necessarily going to win that, whatever that is. And we've always said you got to have a mentality where you just keep jabbing a guy in the head, and sooner or later they're going to break. And that's what we did tonight. Our guys got it back together, and we were able to close out the game.
Second half was a half of runs a bit. What do you think ultimately led to the conclusion where you guys were able to
We were able to get a few stops. I mean, if you look at their point totals in the third and fourth quarter, second quarter was the only one that got away from us, but our stops allowed for us to get out and transition a little bit. It was just one of those deals where we just had to get enough. I think we had at one point like 7 out of 8. And Coach Gates was like, I still don't feel like we're playing well, but we just got 7 out of 8 stops. It was just one of those nights, but we're grateful that we were able to put a string of stops together in that fashion in the second half.
Coach, about Dwayne, his play in the fourth quarter, it seemed like he got hot, and every time the Lakers got close, he shot basically
Yeah.
the lead. What do you say about the fact that he's, even though you're shorthanded with some injuries?
Well, we needed it. Cam got into foul trouble. Chris is out. No Landry. We needed somebody to facilitate and get the ball over half court. Like, that was a big issue tonight, just getting it past half court because they were pressuring us a lot, and then he was able to hit shots. So that's what Wash does. I mean, he can score the ball at the rim, in the mid-range, shoot it from 3. Like, you don't have to tell him to go score, you know. You may have to tell him 2 or 3 other things, but you don't have to tell him to score, and he's not afraid. That's the one thing among many things about him that I love. He's fearless, and he's a great kid, and he's learning how we play, but he's not allowing our system to squash his game. You know, he still plays his game. Once he picks up our system a little bit better and understands the balance, I think he'll be even more effective.
Putting the shoving part aside, how do you think Deandre handled defending Anthony Davis most of the night? Davis was just getting his way a lot of times.
Well, I mean, he had 37, but I think we'll take the win. I mean, that's how you have to look at it. It's not a one-on-one matchup. I don't think we play in a game where it's a one-on-one matchup anymore. Those days are pretty much over. If a guy was in the post 20 times, like Shaq versus Patrick Ewing or Shaq and David Robinson, then you could, you know, make those comparisons. From a number standpoint, yeah, he had 37 points and he had 16 free throws. It's one of the big, I'll leave it alone. So it's just one of those things where I think DA would take the win every time. If he scored 80 points and we won, we're fine with that. Our goal is to win games, and that's been something that we've talked about from day one. Let everybody else win the pushing matches and all that other stuff. Let's win games.
Coach, Mitch Wainwright had 6 points in 11 minutes, but he played tremendous defense tonight. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how his performance went tonight.
We needed him to come in and give us physicality. He knocked down a couple shots. I thought he had a really good block right when we needed it, and we needed a timeout or a stoppage in play to make some subs. I thought his physicality was pretty good tonight. He's just a guy that we've been trying to find some rotations and find guys that can handle athletic forwards. He was guarding Anthony some tonight. He guarded some smaller guys. He has that versatility, and especially now when you're down so many guys, you need someone to step up. I thought he did a solid job.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Mike.